The movie greets us with beautiful shots of Arizona, through which our heroes, Sarah and Michael, are driving in a car. Our couple has been dating for a long time, and now they have finally decided to get married. We learn that the couple is going to Sarah's father, who has long been ill, and the heroes want him to have time to take the girl to the altar. Our heroes are waiting for a long journey, which takes place on the famous Route 66, which in turn crosses the Valley of Death. The main character tells a man about her father, and we learn that he has spent his life working and taking care of his family. Sarah wants her father to be at the wedding very badly. Michael supports his girlfriend and tells her that everything will be fine and they will get everything done in time. Soon the man turns on the radio and his song is playing. We learn that Michael makes music and released an album with his friends once a long time ago, but it is only now that the man's songs are being released on the radio. Suddenly, our heroes feel a sudden jolt on the car. Michael brakes sharply and then gets out of the car. However, the man does not understand what happened to the car, because there is no one in front and behind, and there is not a single scratch on the car. As they go around the car, Sarah slips on a piece of ice that came out of nowhere right in the middle of the desert. But since they didn't find anything else, they decided to continue on their way. Soon in the rearview mirror, Michael notices a black sports car, a Dodge Challenger, which is driving at an incredible speed trying to catch up with the car of our heroes. Michael tries to give this racer a pass, but the strange Dodge is still following. Then the man tries to accelerate, but even then the Dodge keeps up. However, there was a cafe on the right side of the road, and our heroes turned there, and the strange car went on. Our hero is very tense about the situation and says that they are being deliberately chased. Sarah wants to call her father and warn him that they will be a little late, but as it turns out, there is no cell phone coverage in the area. So the couple decide to go to a cafe, hoping that there will be a phone there, and they will be able to contact their father, and at the same time have a snack. The waitress takes the order and says that she is very happy to serve young people, because the visitors of this cafe are mostly pensioners. Our heroes notice that there are only a couple of pensioners and a strange lady in the cafe. The waitress gives Michael 2 coins, and it turns out that there is a rule in this cafe that allows any customer to play his favorite song on the machine. Much to Michael's surprise, the old machine turned out to have his song in it. The waitress was also surprised, because she could not have imagined that a customer of their cafe could be a famous singer. Michael is modest and says that it is not so, and he simply likes to make music. Next we see that a strange black car stops near the cafe, and the driver is a bearded man with a terrifying look. Soon the cook brings out the order, and the girl thanks him and wants to leave a tip. However, the old man does not want to take, but Sarah insists, because he turned out to be very similar to her father. The cook was touched by these words, and he took the money. Our couple says goodbye, and goes on their way. Michael says that he should have called from the pay phone outside the cafe instead of wasting coins on songs from the machine. Sarah replies that the connection will be up soon and they can get in touch with their father. Suddenly at this moment, there is a jolt again. Our heroes begin to panic, they park on the side of the road and do not understand what is happening here. Meanwhile, a horrible man with a beard holds up a picture of our heroes. And in a cafe called Last Chance, the manager is doing the paperwork. The waiters approach the man and ask him to leave the couple alone and give them a chance. However, the manager says that they do everything as they always do, because this is their purpose, and this deal cannot be cancelled. Back on the highway to our heroes. They realize that something is obviously wrong here, and someone is involved, because the car was pushed by something again, but everything is intact. The heroes notice that they are in the same place where the first push happened, and they have been driving for about an hour, and should have been far away from this place. They begin to argue, and suddenly the man asked Sarah to get in the car, because from nowhere a black car reappeared on the highway. Sarah wanted to sort it out, and find out what was going on here. The girl approached the car, and opened the window, but the demonic laughter scared her away. Our heroes rushed to run to the car and quickly drive away from there. Sarah drives at high speed, but the horrible black car keeps chasing them. Suddenly the gasoline starts to run out and the Dodge Challenger comes closer and closer. However, the cafe appears again, and our heroes turn there again, while the black car continued on its way. Michael asks the girl, who was in that car? Sarah answers that she can't explain, but it wasn't a person, it was something else. Our couple runs into a cafe, and Sarah goes to call the police. The girl tells about the incident on the road, but since they are very far from the nearest town, the police patrol will have to wait for several hours. Here we learn the terrible truth that all this time, instead of a policeman, the manager of the cafe was talking to Sarah. At this point, the manager comes out to Michael. Michael talks about the black Dodge, but the manager pretends he doesn't know what the man is talking about and tells him not to worry. The manager suggests waiting for the police in the motel room, and Sarah arrives and agrees. Our heroes sit down at the table and wait to check into the room. Sarah decides to go to the phone once again to call her father. The man picks up the phone, but the connection is so bad that you can hardly hear what her father is saying, and then the connection is cut off. At this point, the manager takes the crying woman to room 17, but she says it's not her time yet, and the manager calms her down. At this time, the cook leaves a note for our heroes, which is intercepted by the manager. Taking the room keys, the manager leads the heroes to the room and tells them that they will like it. The manager addresses the girl by name, though Sarah has not introduced herself to him before. Sarah notices a woman in the next room, who yells that she doesn't want it and needs more time. Suddenly the girl says they need to go back to the car and get their things. But the manager replies that everything they need is in the room, and if they forgot something in the car, they will be sure to have it brought to them. Frightened by what they heard, our heroes run away, and the manager failed to stop them. After that, the employees of the cafe came outside and the manager started yelling at them for not stopping the couple. Michael and Sarah realize that this place and the horrible man are one and the same, and they are all connected. At that moment, Sarah turns around and sees the same horrible man. Michael asks her to keep her foot on the pedals and keep up the speed. At this time in the cafe, the cook tells the manager that he is tormented by his conscience and he should help these people. But the manager replies that they have no power to influence the situation. The cook then calls the girl and tells them not to return to the cafe. At this point, there was a push, and our heroes decided not to stop and continue on the road. But suddenly on the road appeared a black Dodge Challenger. This time they decided to drive past the cafe. But a little later, Michael decided to turn around and drive in the opposite direction, and the black Dodge Challenger didn't follow them. But the fuel runs out again. At this time, the cook is on the phone and asks to review Sarah and Michael's file. Sarah gets behind the wheel of the car and after driving a bit, stops the car and listens to the man's idea. Michael says that if they are in what is called a time loop and the road leads them to the same place, and then they need to get out of the car and go in a completely different direction. The girl agrees with the man and they walk along the desert. The terrain changes, which means they're on the right track. But suddenly the couple notices an overturned car on the road. The heroes realize that it is their car, and inside they can see traces of blood. The man begins to panic and repeats that they are doomed and will not be able to save themselves. Sarah asks Michael to calm down, but at the same minute that horrible man in a black coat appears and approaches the couple making inhuman noises. Michael tries to protect Sarah, but the man hits him with his fingernails in the chest area. Our heroes run back into the desert, and the man gets into his car and drives away. Michael and Sarah go back to their car, and on the leftover gasoline, they drive away. Michael gets worse and worse, and a black Dodge Challenger follows them on their tail again. After driving a few laps past the cafe, they still decide to turn off the road and hide in the cafe. They enter the cafe, where the girl leaves Michael and goes to the manager. The girl says that the black Dodge Challenger has never entered the cafe grounds before and always drives past. The manager replies that there's no point anymore and he'll get to them soon. Sarah asks the man to explain what's going on here. The manager tells her that this is a staging area, there is no way to leave here, and they are just delaying the time of their end. It's a place, something in between dimensions. The manager tells the girl that she and Michael were in a car accident, and all this time they have been desperately fighting for life, because in fact, she is now bleeding. We learn that the manager and all the cafe workers are trying to help people who get to them so they can retire in peace. People here can have dinner, listen to their favorite song, and just relax. And a horrible man in a black coat, they call him the ferryman. He ferries people to the other side of reality. The man's main purpose is to help them cross from one world to another, and he is not a living being. Sarah is in despair, and says that she and Michael had a lot of plans for life, but if the time has come, it is necessary to come to terms with it. After these words, the manager decides to help our heroes, and says that the girl has a chance. The man touched Sarah's stomach, and said that she had something to live for, and she would have a baby. The girl was shocked, because she didn't know she was pregnant. Cook takes their car keys and tells them not to worry, and Sarah calls him Dad. Afterward, the manager walks over to a phone booth and a call comes in. The man is told that they have reviewed the file, and there has been a mistake. The manager thanks them, as our heroes have been given one last chance. The cook then drives our hero's car out onto the road, and drives straight at the ferryman. Sarah kisses Michael for the last time. And in the last shots of the movie we see Sarah regaining consciousness. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.